I didn't always have a minimalist home. In fact, when I moved into my downsized home, I was cramped. We were coming from a big home where we could fit all of the things that we had before. When we packed all of the same things into a smaller downsized home, it was a much different feel. And I'm telling you what, we had to do something about it. So after many trips to the donation centers, I felt brighter and happier. I could see the floor. I wasn't tripping over things. My counters weren't cluttered any longer. And I noticed that my quality of life was improving. Today, I'm going to give you 25 things that you can declutter to make your home a minimalist home. Minimalism is all about having things that are important to you and identifying what is of value to you and getting rid of the rest. And when you reduce all of that, that brings everything else up to the surface that you do value. Hi, I'm Bren. I'm so happy you're here. I share weekly videos on simple and minimalist living, decluttering and organizing, creating a cozy home, and ways to live your best life. If you love these topics as much as I do, please subscribe to my channel. Our living rooms and family rooms tend to have all sorts of things in them. Go take a look at your end table right now. Do you have things on it that you don't really need? Are things on it that don't serve a purpose? Are there drawers on your end table or side table that have things just stuffed in there? You don't even know what's in there. Maybe old remote controls or whatever, which is another item, by the way. Get rid of those old remote controls that don't go to anything. I just got rid of two just last week. One was to an old TV that I haven't had for 10 years. And another one was to a heater. It was still in the little sleeve that it came in. I don't know what I was doing keeping this thing. I mean, we always just walked over to that heater and turned it on and off. See if you have any old remote controls laying around. Just buzz things in your home, see if it goes to that, and if it doesn't, declutter it. Oftentimes we'll have sofa tables, coffee tables, end tables, side tables, plant stands. If you have a plant stand, that's another one of those one-purpose items, and it's great if you actually use it if your plant's not dead, but if it is, I would go ahead and part ways with that. If you don't love taking care of plants and you have that plant stand there, feel free to get rid of it. You don't need to keep it. Pass the plant stand on and the plant itself if that's not a passion of yours, and it used to be, but it's not any longer, that's okay. You don't need to keep something like that in your room. I want you to just walk around your family room or living room and identify those tables that you have. Are they really serving a purpose, or could you par down even? Maybe you keep the coffee table and get rid of the end tables. Maybe you keep the end tables and get rid of the coffee table. But I challenge you to get rid of some of those things that are taking up that floor space. You just don't need all of those surfaces. Tchotchkes. If you have those little decorative items laying around your family room that don't mean a thing to you, I would part ways with those immediately. They're definitely dust collectors, and if they're not meaning anything to you, it's just a distraction that you don't need. It's something you don't need to take care of. You don't need to clean it. Why not part ways with those things? And then if you're on a vacation or a trip one day and you come across something that you really like and that's meaningful and it will spark a memory for you when you look at it, that's the kind of thing that you should have in your home. All of those things that you bought at Home Goods that you just thought, well, this matches my decor, those kind of items are exactly the things that prevent you from having a minimalist home. Another thing from preventing you from having a minimalist living room are things that don't belong there. People lay their hat down or their coat down or a piece of paper or a project or a bill, and before you know it, all of your surfaces are just cluttered up with these items. Pick up all of those items that don't belong there and get them out of there, and that will create such a more minimalist and serene and peaceful and relaxing environment for you. If you have an item in your family room or your living room that is just for one purpose only, such as one of those wavy DVD stands that were out in the 90s, if you still have one of those, highly consider getting rid of something like that, because they only serve one purpose and they take up floor space and they are visual clutter in the end. So what I would suggest to you, A, if you don't have a DVD player anymore, get rid of them in the first place. B, if you want to keep some, par down to the ones you really like. And C, Put them somewhere else in your family room or living room, such as your TV stand. Maybe you can empty out a drawer and make space in that for those items. Our room should be a sanctuary. It should be a place of rest and recovery. But oftentimes we have things scattered all over the floor. You might even have one of those occasional chairs in your corner that you never ever use. And what's on it? Probably clothes. Probably things that don't belong on it. But I'm going to give you some items right now that you can get rid of to create a more minimalist environment in your bedroom and give you that peace that you deserve. Even though I live in a downsized home that doesn't even have a linen closet, I was guilty of having the first item, and that is extra duvet covers or comforters. That is one of the things that you can definitely pare down. If you think about it, I bet you any money that you're just like me. You have your favorite, and you have this extra just in case. You don't actually need the extra duvet cover or comforter. You can make do with just one. And guess what? When it's worn out, the store will have another one. You don't need to store those things. It was so strange because every year when it would come time to put on the one that I really liked, I actually looked forward to it. And when it would come time to put the other one on that I didn't like as much, I would actually be sad that the one was going off. And that's when I just knew, why do I have all of this? So challenge yourself, go through your duvet covers and your comforters. You probably don't need everything that you have. Jewelry is another thing that accumulates all over our bedrooms. It's on our nightstands, it's on our dressers, it's on the floor even, right? So I want you to go through your jewelry. Really identify the pieces that you love. I personally pared down from a gigantic armoire at one point to a medium-sized jewelry box to now a very small jewelry box because I really asked myself, what do I gravitate toward? What do I love wearing? What actually matches the things that I wear? What do I feel comfortable and confident in? Those are the questions that I'd like you to ask yourself when you're looking through your jewelry, and highly consider paring down. You'll probably find, just like me, that you love only certain things, and it's okay to let go of the rest. If you have more than 2 sets of sheets, declutter the other ones. You don't need to have more than 2. In my opinion, I like 2. I know a lot of minimalist people say that they like 1 set of sheets. That's not me. I prefer 2. No, I just want to take my time if I'm sick or somebody else is sick, put on a new set of sheets and call it a day. I can go ahead and do that laundry some other time. One thing I've definitely pared down on as a minimalist is my sock inventory. I like to get wool socks because they last longer. You don't even need to wash them as much, believe it or not. They're sweat wicking and they keep you warm in cold weather. They're actually the perfect material for socks. And believe it or not, they're not itchy. I know that you might think that they are, but they're not. So I want you to consider the quality of your socks. I want you to get rid of any of the holey socks that you have or the ones that are worn thin. Maybe you're not the type of person that goes to any formal events anymore, but yet you have half a drawer full of dress socks. You don't need all of those. Really identify the socks you actually use and love and keep those. And the next time you're replacing your socks, investigate quality over quantity. I bet you'll be so much happier with better quality socks that don't wear out as often. Leave me a sunshine emoji in the comments to let me know that you are decluttering or that you used one of my tips. Do you ever look at a catalog or on TV and you see that beautiful minimalist looking bed? It's just nice and serene because there's not a whole lot going on their bed. So just take a look at your bed. Do you want it to look like this? Do you like all of those extra pillows? Or when you look at your bed, are those pillows all out of whack? Does it bother you when they're all discombobulated and they don't look good? They're not all lined up? Or maybe you have those extra blankets on your bed that just makes things look like it's a mess. I used to have these gigantic king-size blankets that I ran across the middle of my bed. And I used to have a massive amount of throw pillows, but I pared down to only 4. And I actually use those to prop my head up or to put my computer on. So they're not just decorative for me, they're actually useful. If you don't even get your bed made because it's just too complicated or you dread it, go ahead and get rid of some of those extra blankets and pillows. And I bet you'll feel so much more minimalist in your room. If your closets are overstuffed and you can't even shut your drawers properly, you need to pare down on your clothes. Go through those items, figure out what's your very favorite, and get rid of the others. Take this week and see what you wear. What do you gravitate to? What do you reach for? Are there things that you pick up, you look at it, and you say, I don't think I want to wear this, and you put it back? Those are the kind of things that you can declutter for a more minimalist room. That way you'll be able to close your drawers and create a nice, serene, and relaxing environment in your bedroom. Our entryways are like the little portals on our way into our homes, and oftentimes they are just full of clutter and definitely not adding to our minimalist goals. One of the things that can accumulate in an entryway are boxes from things that we purchased, but we know that we're keeping. You can get rid of those boxes. If you open up a new pair of tennis shoes and you're wearing them right now, they worked out, there is no need to keep that box. Declutter the mailers and the packaging for items that you're keeping. Get rid of the envelopes and the junk mail that have accumulated in your entryway. Another thing we accumulate in our entryway, tote bags, purses, and even those reusable shopping bags. I want you to really pare down in this area. There's only so many tote bags you need. There's only so many shopping bags you need. And there's only so many handbags you need. So if you find that you're always reaching for the same ones, ask yourself, why are you not reaching for the other ones? And if the answer is you don't like it, or you like the one that you're using better, part ways with the ones you're not. One thing that definitely accumulates by our entryway are returns. We come through the door, we have an item that we bought, it didn't work out, but yet our returns are lingering by the doorways. So you need to go ahead, put that item back in your car, right in the front seat, right where you're going to see it, and take it back to the store. Even if you have to set an alarm on your phone to remind you for the next day that that item needs to go back, do it. Whatever it takes, just don't leave those returns lingering in your entryway. I want your entryway to be a welcoming environment at the end of the day. And having less stuff means it's more minimal and it's just going to feel so good for you. Our kitchen is just full of things that we can get rid of, but one thing for sure, get rid of all of those extra dishes. I had 3 sets of dishes at one time. 3 sets. One was formal wear, one was Christmas dishes, and one was my everyday dishes. I am now pared down to just my everyday dishes with a little side plate set for the holidays, and I have never looked back. My cabinets now are so awesome. I can actually just reach in and get what I want instead of having to reach past things or worrying that I'm going to break something or something is going to fall out at me. So go through your cabinets. If you have any excess dishes, whether it's from old sets or multiple sets, really pare down to what you really love. One-use kitchen gadgets, in my opinion, can go, unless it's something that you use constantly. For me personally, I had one of those Pampered Chef choppers, and I always would have to drag my knife out after I used that thing because it would never chop things up all the way. You know how onions and green peppers, they're just difficult. So it was just a whole lot of work and something that took up space that just didn't need to live in my kitchen. If you have items like that, part ways with them. You don't need to keep them. If you have duplicate utensils in your kitchen, part ways with them. It is not necessary to keep 10 spatulas. It's not necessary to have 10 serving spoons. Go through yours, reduce it down. You probably have those things lingering in the bottom of your drawer. Some of them might even be brand new. Really evaluate what you're using, what you actually need, and then get rid of the rest. For me, I absolutely love to bake, but when I was accumulating all of my baking supplies, I came across things I thought I had to have, such as those tiny little muffin pans or one of those bundt pans, things like that. Those are not my style of baking. So I parted ways with all of those types of baking items that just are not in line with the type of baking that I like to do. And I want you to do that too. If you have any bakeware in your kitchen that you find yourself not gravitating toward, not using, get rid of those items. And that will create such a minimalist space in your cabinets for the baking items that you actually use. Small appliances that you no longer use or you thought you would use, but you didn't. I really challenge you to go through your kitchen and get rid of those items. Definitely get rid of it if you haven't used it in 6 months to a year. Those items can go. Pass it on to a family member or a friend that you know might like it. Maybe they would actually use it. There's no sense in clogging up your cabinets or your countertops for that matter with things like that. If you have something on your countertop that you use, but not all the time, maybe you can put that in a cabinet so that it's not visually cluttering up your countertop. Because if you want a minimalist kitchen, you want only the items on your surfaces that you actually use. And if you get a chance, let me know exactly what you let go of. I would love to hear about it. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week.